Hello. Today I'm going to give you the opportunity to help millions of suffering animals with simply your name. My name is Sabrina Cofone, and I've been researching American-funded animal testing projects. I'm going to tell you why America needs to end animal testing by highlighting three major points of reason. Animal testing is inaccurate, wasteful, and cruel. After I explain why America needs to end animal testing, I will tell you how you can help make this happen. Some people may feel that animal suffering is worth it if it means saving human lives. But the truth is, animal testing is not only entirely ineffective, but actually dangerous to the medical field. Advancements in science are showing us that animal testing has been counterproductive to the medical field. We see now that even genetic variations between individual humans can make for inconclusive data. Now, with this considered, assuming that data gathered from animals would translate to humans is scientifically unsupported and quite dangerous. The National Anti-Vivisection Society is an organization that advocates for more humane science-based research in the international community. On the failure of animal models, they tell us, even though humans share genetic material with other animals, it doesn't necessarily mean it is expressed in the same way. For example, a recent study which compared the activity of human genes important for sepsis, trauma, and burns with equivalent mouse genes, revealed that humans and mice use very different sets of genes to cope with these insults. This explains why 150 drugs that successfully treated sepsis-like conditions in mice failed in human clinical trials. Even animals with greater similarity to humans, such as primates, have failed to predict what happens in humans. For example, monkeys treated with a therapeutic antibody did not predict the fatal immune response that was triggered in humans. The scientific community has also recently concluded that research on chimpanzees, our closest genetic relative, is unnecessary and is being phased out. There is little consensus among researchers about what the right animal model is to use because there is no such thing. Often, animal models are chosen because they are convenient, inexpensive, easy to handle, or have simply been used for a long time, not because they have successfully duplicated what happens in people. Different species, and strains within species for that matter, metabolize drugs and are affected by disease differently. No animal models can accurately recapitulate the human condition because animals are not people. Just because humans have historically relied on animal experiments does not mean we need to continue to do so. Limitations with animal models are encouraging researchers to think outside of the box and develop enhanced research methodologies that focus on humans and not animals. Majority of our animal test results in multiple cures for the animal that do not translate to humans whatsoever. Cruelty Free International has quoted Dr. Richard Klausner, former director of the U.S. National Cancer Institute, saying, "The history of cancer research has been the history of curing cancer in the mouse. We have cured mice of cancer for decades, and it simply didn't work in human beings." Cruelty Free International also offers insightful statistics. 90% of drugs fail in human trials despite promising results in animal tests, whether on safety grounds or because they simply do not work. Out of 93 dangerous drug side effects, only 19% could have been predicted by animal tests. Vioxx, a drug used to treat arthritis, was found to be safe when tested in monkeys, and 5 other animal species, but has been estimated to have caused around 320,000 heart attacks and strokes and 140,000 deaths worldwide. A recent drug trial in France resulted in the death of 1 volunteer and left 4 others severely brain damaged in 2016. The drug, which was intended to treat a wide range of conditions, including anxiety and Parkinson's disease, was tested in 4 different species of animals: mice, rats, dogs, and monkeys, before being given to humans. A clinical trial of hepatitis B drug, phyluridine, has to be stopped because it caused severe liver damage in 7 patients, 5 of whom died. it had been tested on animals first. Only 1/3 of substances known to cause cancer in humans have been shown to cause cancer in animals. Aspirin is toxic to many animals, including cats, mice, and rats, and would not be on our pharmacy shelves if it had been tested according to current animal testing standards. Now that we understand the failure of these programs, how would you feel if I told you that you were personally paying for them? The major concept behind the Revolutionary War was no taxation without representation. Yet today, we as American citizens have to do quite a bit of research to even see where our tax dollars are going. According to PETA, approximately 100 million animals are tormented and killed in experiments in the United States each year. The National Institute of Health allocates 40% of its budget to these projects. That translates to roughly $12 billion in American taxpayer money. PETA also lists current taxpayer-funded grants in American universities. Here are just a few. Northeastern University gets $300,000 in taxpayer money to inject hamsters with steroids and forcing them to fight. The University of Utah gets $500,000 of taxpayer money to induce heart attacks in dogs. Oregon Health and Science University gets $1.6 million taxpayer dollars to turn mice and monkeys into alcoholics. And the National Institute of Health gets $1.7 million taxpayer dollars to induce depression in baby monkeys. With an extra $12 billion, our government can hire 332,000 additional teachers, offer an extra $715 a month to 1.4 million homeless veterans, and give back an additional $160 to 75 million households, just to name a few options. Now we are descending into tough economic times. How can we justify wasting such massive amounts of taxpayer money on animal testing? This final point I have saved for the end, because in some ways it's the most obvious. But with my first 2 points considered, I hope to emphasize just how truly cruel animal testing is. In light of this pandemic, maybe we can empathize better with these animals, many of whom are kept in small, isolated environments, deprived of any loving or social contact. The rest are forced into overcrowded, unsanitary habitats. This is not a temporary effect of a pandemic for these animals, though. This is their everyday, unwavering reality. These animals are sentient beings, capable of thinking and feeling. They are taken from their natural habitats with no hope of living the life intended for them. I have given you all quite a few examples already of the horrors facing animals in our government testing programs. The last example I will give you made national news a few months ago. NBC uncovered the federal government had spent 100 million taxpayer dollars on experiments where harmful acid was injected into the brains of millions of monkeys. This results in severe brain damage, short and long-term memory loss, loss of cognitive function, confusion, severe headaches, depression, anxiety, and a wider range of other horrific side effects, as I'm sure you can imagine. The injection of the acid is not the experiment, though. That takes place after. Following the injections of the harmful acid into the brains of the monkeys, researchers proceed to scare them with the rubber snakes and spiders regularly for the remainder of the animal's life. There has been no scientific gain whatsoever from these experiments. This example highlights my first 2 major points in that it offers no medical advancement and is grossly fiscally wasteful. But more than anything, it enforces the true cruelty these animals are enduring. Most of the monkeys in this specific experiment have ripped out patches of their own fur. This is a sign of severe psychological distress. Day after day, these animals only know fear, pain, and trauma. Hundreds of millions of conscious beings are being tormented beyond our scope of imagination within our own nation. It has been said that the moral progress of our society can be measured by the way it treats animals. The exploitation of the exploitation inherent in animal experiments stands in the way of moral progress. Now is the time to extend our sphere of ethical concern to all creatures. The National Anti-Vivisection Society. 100 million animals are tormented and killed every year in American laboratories. Billions of our hard-earned tax dollars are funding these programs. Advancements in science have proven these tests to be entirely irrelevant to human medical research. These experiments are cruel, sadistic, and inhumane. We are funding the unnecessary suffering of millions of animals. We have the power to help liberate them by ending animal testing in America. In the description of this video, I have attached a link to a petition. By simply typing in your name, you can make a difference. If after that, my words have compelled you to take your help a step further, I urge you to please share this petition with your friends, loved ones, and acquaintances. The petition reads as follows. To the FDA, the continued protection of animal testing facilities are granted for their often abusive operations amounts to government-subsidized torture. At least 100 million animals are being put through tests for cosmetic products, scientific research, military, medical, aeronautic, and agricultural ends in this country, to be discarded like trash once they've proven their usefulness. And the data gleaned from such testing is hardly useful. An estimated 92% of animal-tested pharmaceuticals fail to ever meet the basic human standards. It's time this needless killing is ended once and for all. Testing, distribution, and marketing of animal-tested products throughout the European Union has been banned since 2013. Many other countries have adopted similar prohibitions. However, the United States has yet to decide on such a measure. The Humane Cosmetic Act could prohibit sales or transport of animal-tested beauty products within the country, but the people of the world are asking the government to take a stronger stance against animal testing. Take action and defend these unprotected animals. I demand you ban all animal testing within the United States immediately. Sincerely, your name. By taking but a few more moments of your time, you can help bring hope to the horizon of animals who have never known the feeling of comfort, happiness, or freedom. Thank you.